Hi, my name is Janelle Lyons. I'm a senior here at DePauw University in Greencastle, Indiana. I major in political science, Spanish with a minor in Chinese, and I was able to have the wonderful experience to study abroad in Havana, Cuba, through direct enroll through the University of Havana. Um, at the University of Havana, I was able to study political economics, art, Chinese, Cuban art, tons of things because of the fact that I was in direct enroll. So I basically got to take all the classes that any other student who is Cuban could take. And I really enjoyed that experience because of the fact that I was able to interact with Cuban students and talk to them about their lives. And also, as a political science major, it's really cool to be able to find out basically what makes Cuba ticked because of the fact that a lot of Americans never really get to go to Cuba. So it's kind of like you get to find out something that no one else has really gotten to know. Um, some of the challenges for me when I was studying abroad is I'm really involved in my sorority. Right before I went to study abroad in Cuba, I was on chapter council, which basically meant that I was risk manager for my sorority. So basically anything that happened, or formals and things like that, I was the one who kind of like makes sure that everyone's okay and there's no risky situations. So leaving my sorority, being so involved, was really kind of hard. But one of the things that I realized was that they supported my decision and they were just as proud of me for leaving and going on this wonderful experience. So I was able to go, but then they still sent me emails and they still tried to send me care packages. It's a little bit harder in Cuba, but because of the fact that the mailing system isn't as good, but I definitely enjoyed them sharing this experience with me. Another challenge for me was, money isn't always the easiest thing to come about with studying abroad just because you feel like it's not something that you have to do. But my study abroad office was really able to work with me and find programs that kind of fit my need. So I was able to have options when studying abroad. It's really crazy because you think nobody's going to Cuba, but there were multiple programs that were actually going. SUNY was going, Arcadia University was going, Princeton was going, so it definitely gave me options in deciding where I wanted to go, which helped me with deciding, the price tags of each one. Another thing that was kind of a little bit difficult for me is because it was a new place and I'd never been, and technology isn't as prevalent in Cuba. So I was just trying to figure out, how am I going to contact my parents? How are they going to make sure to know that I'm okay? Well, one of the things my program did was when we actually got into Cuba, they called each of our parents and let them know that we were safe. And I had family friends that were actually in Cuba because of the fact that I had family friends that were in America who were Cuban. So they were able to call my parents to make sure I was okay. They were able to kind of be that family for me that I needed, which was a great experience for me. And then I, obviously the way that I was able to overcome this was the fact that my sorority did support me. My family finally did come around because Cuba is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of parents just because it's so unknown, and when people think of Cuba they think Fidel Castro, they think communism, they think all of these things, and it's just not like that. It honestly, with them being a state that's so policed, I felt more safe because of the fact that I felt like someone was constantly making sure that I was okay. And my program was definitely there to help me along the way. They didn't leave me or anything like that. They allowed us to have enough freedom to do what we wanted to do as students, but at the same time, if we ever needed them or we were confused or anything like that, they were able to help us. And I think that made the difference for everything. Um, I think some advice that I would give students who are going to study abroad, whether they're African American, whether they're going to a place that hasn't really been traveled to before, whether they're majoring in a lot of different things. Because I mean, as a person who's majoring in double majoring and then minoring in another thing, it's kind of hard. One of the things I would tell them to do is definitely explore their options. Definitely see what's out there. Just as much as your study abroad office is working for you, you should be working for them. So definitely kind of let them know what you want, what you don't want. Definitely, be honest with them because, I mean, you don't want to be in a place that you don't want to be. So definitely, with me, when I told my study abroad office that I wanted to go to Cuba, they looked at me like I was crazy. But one of the things that I was able to do is I basically told them I'm going to Cuba. So I got on the internet and I looked up programs, and I basically told them there are programs that are going here. How can you help me to get there where I want to go? And it was then that they realized how important it was for me, that they were able to work just as hard because they saw this was something that I actually really wanted to do. One of the really fun things that I did, amazing things in Cuba, but one of the things that I really, really enjoyed is I taught Zumba. I brought Zumba to Cuba. So it was really, really exciting because Cuban people, the American government and the Cuban government don't have relations. So a lot of the American businesses or things like that, Cubans don't really have access to. So Zumba was, I went to the local gym. It was actually a JCC, a Jewish Community Center. And the admissions for a month membership was $3. And I went and I took these classes. I took step, and I took, because I definitely wanted to stay active, because I love, physical, I love working out. So I went to the thing, and there was one day when the Cubans are really crazy about the weather, because the weather is usually sunny and perfect and everything. So anytime it rains or something like that, it gets a little cold, they like freak out. So it was raining one day, and the instructor didn't come, and I asked the instructor that was before her, I asked her if there was any way that I could possibly teach the class and just teach Zumba really quickly. And she was like, oh, we don't have the right cord for you to hook it up, but we definitely want you to come back and teach Zumba. So I came back the next week and I taught Zumba, and they absolutely loved it. And it really made me excited about my Cuban experience. It kind of let me get more acclimated to the community, make me feel more involved, make me feel like I actually mattered as a student. Because a lot of times when you go, you just go to class, go home, go to class, go home. But it's those experiences where you're able to connect with people and you're able to share an experience that makes all the difference. So that was definitely a really, really